English Zone Podcast.
Your place to practice English.
Take a moment and imagine something interesting. Imagine that you had the chance to meet your younger self, maybe the version of you from 5 years ago, maybe the version of you when you were a teenager, or maybe even younger. If that moment happened, what would you say? What advice would you give? Life has a strange way of teaching lessons slowly. Some lessons come through success, but many of the most important ones come through experience, mistakes, and time. As people grow older, they often begin to see things differently. Situations that once felt confusing start to make sense. Decisions that once seemed difficult become clearer. And many people eventually realize that there are certain things they wish they had understood earlier in life. Not because the past can be changed, but because those lessons become valuable with time. If people had the chance to speak to their younger selves, many of them would probably share similar advice. Advice about mistakes, advice about time, advice about opportunities and growth. And even though it is impossible to travel back in time, these lessons are still meaningful today, because sometimes the advice you would give your younger self is exactly the advice you still need to hear now. One of the first things people often realize as they grow older is that life is not as simple as it once seemed. When you are younger, many things feel certain. You may believe that life follows a clear path. Study hard, choose a career, work towards success. But reality is often more complex than that. Life is full of unexpected moments. Sometimes things go exactly as planned. But other times, life takes you in a completely different direction. And that is not always a bad thing. Many of the most meaningful experiences in life are the ones that were never planned. The friendships you didn't expect, the opportunities that appeared suddenly, the lessons that came from challenges. Looking back, people often realize that life was not meant to be perfectly predictable. It was meant to be explored. And if you could tell your younger self something important, it might be this. You don't have to have everything figured out right away. Life is a journey of learning, discovering, and growing over time. Another lesson many people wish they understood earlier is the true meaning of mistakes. When people are young, mistakes can feel overwhelming. Failing an exam, making the wrong decision, feeling embarrassed after trying something new. These moments can feel like the end of the world. But with time, perspective begins to change. Mistakes are not the opposite of success. They are part of the process of learning. Every skill that exists today was once difficult to learn. Every expert was once a beginner. And every confident person was once unsure. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are trying. And trying is the only way growth happens. Many people spend too much time worrying about being perfect. But perfection is not what leads to improvement. Progress does. If you try something and fail, you learn something. If you learn something, you grow. And growth is what eventually leads to success. So if you could tell your younger self something important, it would probably be this. Do not fear mistakes. Fear never trying at all. Another lesson people often understand later in life is the importance of taking opportunities. Sometimes the biggest regrets in life are not the mistakes you made. The biggest regrets are often the chances you didn't take. Maybe there was something you wanted to try, a skill you wanted to learn, an idea you wanted to explore. But fear held you back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But what many people eventually realize is that courage does not mean being fearless. Courage means taking action even when fear is present. Opportunities rarely appear at the perfect moment. Sometimes they appear when you feel uncertain, when you feel unprepared. But those moments are often the ones that lead to growth. Trying something new can open doors you never expected. It can introduce you to new ideas, new people, and new possibilities. And sometimes one small decision to try something new can change the direction of your entire life. Another lesson that becomes clearer with time is how valuable time truly is. When you are young, time feels endless. Days seem long, years seem far away. But as life moves forward, people begin to notice something important. Time passes faster than expected. Moments that once seemed ordinary become memories. Conversations become stories, and experiences become lessons. Time is one of the most valuable things you have. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But time is the one thing that never returns. That is why many people would tell their younger selves to use their time wisely. Spend time learning. Spend time building skills. Spend time with people who care about you. And spend time doing things that help you grow. Because the small decisions you make with your time today may shape the future you experience tomorrow. Another important lesson many people discover is the power of personal growth. Growth does not always happen in dramatic moments. Often it happens slowly, through daily habits, through small improvements, through consistent effort, learning something new every day, improving a skill little by little, developing patience and discipline. These small actions may not seem significant at first, but over time they begin to create powerful results. Confidence grows through experience. Knowledge grows through curiosity, and strength grows through challenges. Many people underestimate their own potential. They believe they are not talented enough, not capable enough. But potential is not something fixed. It grows through effort. The more you practice, the better you become. The more you learn, the more capable you feel. Believing in yourself does not mean thinking you are perfect. It means understanding that you are capable of improving, and improvement is what creates change. In the end, if people had the chance to speak to their younger selves, they would probably share many different lessons. Lessons about mistakes, lessons about courage, lessons about time and growth. But even though the past cannot be changed, the future is always being shaped by the decisions you make today. The advice you would give your younger self still has value, because it can guide the choices you make moving forward. So, take a moment to reflect. If you could meet your younger self today, what would you say? What lesson would you share? And more importantly, what lesson can you start applying in your life right now? Because the truth is simple. The advice you would give your younger self might be exactly the advice you need today. Thank you for listening.
If you want to continue learning English, follow me for more videos.